मेरी मिट्टी में एक खुशबू है, उस खुशबू में एक जादू है। जब छूती दिल को पुरवाए, अरमां यही बेकाबू है। छू लेंगे आसमां, झूमेगा हिंदुस्तान। छू लेंगे आसमान, झूमेगा हिंदुस्तान। जुड़ते जुड़ते हम जुड़ जाएं, खोले जो पंख तोड़ जाएं। मासूम के चेहरे पर उतरे मुस्कान बने और खिल जाएं। युवाओं का नया सवेरा हो, विश्वास का मन में बसेरा हो। हम जुगनू बन के जल जाएं, रत्ती भर भी ना अंधेरा हो। छू लेंगे आसमान, झूमेगा हिंदुस्तान। छू लेंगे आसमान, झूमेगा हिंदुस्तान। हमसे उम्मीदों की धूप, हमसे नए भारत का रूप। हम शहर की तेज रफ्तार, करें गाँव के सपने साकार। हम तरकश भी और तीर भी, हम काबिल भी और वीर भी। हमें ऐसा देश बनाना है जिसकी चमके तस्वीर भी। आसमान, झूमेगा हिंदुस्तान। छू लेंगे आसमान, झूमेगा हिंदुस्तान।
Good evening, everyone. My name is Srivat Gopal Krishnan. I am the lead for IDS from Young Indians, YICII. Um, just wait for a few minutes. We are just waiting for a few things to get clarified. Just wait for a minute or two. We will be starting shortly. I understand that many of you friends are facing challenges in terms of accessing the Zoom meeting. Please don't worry at all. We have a YouTube live feed which is being done. We will be sharing the YouTube links. We have already shared the YouTube links in the chat box. Please share those with your friends. You will not miss anything. Thank you. We'll be starting shortly. Very good evening to one and all. Students, participants, all across India. We're extremely happy to have all of you here join us for the launch of the fourth edition of the IDS IDS Challenge. Imagine, Do, Share, which is the flagship event of YI's Innovation Vertical. We're extremely happy to share that we have got registrations from all across India, from various corners, from northeast, east, west, north, northeast, far down, south. We also got from 250, over 250 colleges, 10,000 applications, and across various cities. So 52 cities is what we have represented. YI is there in 66 chapters in 66 cities, and we've got a representation from 52 of this. So extremely happy to see this response for this event. We are joined today by our national leadership, Tarang Kurana, who is the vice chairman for YI National. We also have Varun Jain, who's also the national chair for Innovation Young Indians. We also have Kalyan, who's the national chair for Yuva. Um, I would request Tarang to please share his few words and give us his insights to the students and the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, Srivats. Good evening, all. Sorry, I was just waiting to be unmuted by the host before I could start talking. Incredible. I think when we thought about IDS, if anyone would have come around and told us that we would be sitting on a talent pool of 10,000 young and brilliant minds from across the country, 280 teams, 2,800 teams, and close to 260 institutions, uh, we would not have believed it. But today, at the launch of IDS 4.0 on the 28th of March, it not only fills us with immense pride in terms of the number of people that we've gathered from the length and breadth of the country, it also excites us for the potential that this congregation holds. Good evening, one and all. My name is Tarang Khurana. Subraj, I'm not audible. Sorry, is that... Guys, can you hear me?
We can
Yes,
hear
please, we
you.
can hear you.
Thank you.
Sure. Loud and clear. Wonderful. But I would like to see you guys as well. So if you could kindly switch on your videos if the host has allowed that. It's going to be brilliant to put a face, Ved, Vishal, Tejpal, Manu, Siddharth, and a user with a Xiaomi phone as well. Satvik, Abhay, Anurag. Lovely. Brilliant, guys. This is incredible. You know, as I was just talking and Shivats mentioned, when ideas came about, Bharani, hi, Kushi, hi, Janvi, hi, lovely to see the women as well. Lovely to see the ladies come in and participate in this. Hi, Chitranshi, how are you? This entire congregation, guys, for everyone raising their hands, we'll come in around to you. Particular queries you can drop in the chat box as well, and those will be answered in time by the host also, right? So when we started IDS from 2023 to 2024, it's a growth of 10x. Everyone talks about incremental growth. Everyone talks about compounding. This is super compounding. It's brilliant to see the number of people that have joined us from across the country today, all with a single focus, that is to find innovative solutions to problems of climate change that we face today. It goes nowhere without saying that today, the youth and innovation are two of the strongest, two of the most potent forces and the driving change forces that we have in the world. This is not just true for this congregation. This is true for across the country. This is true for India and globally as well. Everyone recognizes the need for the youth to step up, find innovative solutions, find innovative ideas to tackle and to take on the situations that we face today. Why do we do that? It's simply because we are creating a better world for ourselves. Not very, very long ago, I was sitting where all of you are sitting. And I just wish I had the opportunity to be a part of something like this. A program that brings in students from across the country, a program that brings in people to work on specific ideas, specific thoughts, specific questions that we have, and find the best possible and the most tangible solutions that we can identify. In life, essentially, we believe there are two skill sets that really equip anyone beyond everything that is possible. One is identifying problems. Two is finding the solutions to those problems. The simplest things, the simplest life skills that we have are the ones that will go a long, long way in making us the people, the leaders that we honestly deem that all of us can be. At YI, at Young Indians, we are working with Yuva colleges across the 67 cities. Today, from Dehradun to Kanyakumari, from Bhavnagar to Nagaland, everywhere across the country, you will find a YI or a Young Indians presence. There are close to 2 lakh students who are working exclusively with the Yuva program. Some of you are a part of Yuva, some of you are non-Yuva students as well. What we are trying to engage is work with all of you for a collaborative and for a shared future. In that effort, Young Indian seeks the support of all of the Yuva students to not only be nation builders, but be youth leaders that contribute towards an ideal and the thought leadership-based India. IDS 4.0 is the starting point that will possibly enable you to take forward this journey as you go ahead and become the leaders that your institutions, that your city, and that India really, really needs. As I close out my opening remarks, I just want to say one thing. The 10,000 participants, the 2,800 teams, everyone on this chat box today, all of you will excel. There is no doubt about that. There is immense potential in you. There is immense potential in you to be change makers. YI will be the enabler for you to go from level 1 to level 10. All of you will excel. My request to you is that true worth lies in collaboration. Work across boundaries, work across institutions, work across geographies. Collaborate with the brightest and the sharpest minds of not only this program that this country has to offer. When you collaborate, you will truly become an individual or a person of significance, a team of significance. The difference between being successful and significant is when you carry forward your success to the betterment of the society, to the betterment of the environment, and to the betterment of the country. So always strive for excellence, and I'm sure you guys will achieve it. But remember that true worth lies in collaboration. When you bring the two of these together, the 298 people on the chat, the 10,000 students who are participating in IDS, and the 2 lakh Yuva students will become that significant driving force that India needs and deserves to have. My heartiest congratulations to Kalyan, Varun, Srivats, and the entire innovation team. Sorry if I miss out on a few names. I know there are close to about 50 people who are working behind the scenes, and students, this is for you. There is a 50-member team of seasoned entrepreneurs, of dedicated professionals who will guide you over the next 7-8 months as you go from I to D to S. This is going to be a life-changing experience for the ones that you completed. Make sure you leverage it in the best possible manner. It is a position of immense pride for us to host you, and we look forward to taking this journey together. Srivats, thank you so much for having me on this call. Back to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your valuable messages. Very rightly put, children, you all will succeed, but it's very important in this age to collaborate and create that, effect. How can you take, your effort and your intelligence and capability to the next level? And collaboration is key. YI plays a very important role, like you mentioned, we are the catalyst. And there are multiple areas that we work in. One such important vertical that we are into is innovation. I would like to invite Varun Jain, who is the national chair for the innovation vertical of Young Indians, to come and speak to us about what the vertical is about and what his thoughts per se about innovation and his message to you. Please welcome Varun Jain. Varun, we can't hear you. Tushar, can you just help?
Hi, am I audible now?
Yes, Varun, you're audible, please.
Yes. Hi, sorry. Yeah, I was just getting unmuted. So hi everybody. This is absolutely a privilege and to be addressing 300 of you here. And I think there are a few hundred people on the YouTube link because they could not get into the meeting. So it's very exciting for us to be working with energy of almost 10,000 youngsters of India who truly will define the future of India. So, I'm not going to take too much of your time. I just want to make sure that, and you guys are all smarter than most of us are, given that you're Gen Zers. But what is innovation, right? I mean, I think a lot of times we end up confusing innovation with with entrepreneurship, right? Many times we think about innovation as the same is in another word for entrepreneurship. And I think they're brother and sister or siblings, but they're definitely two different concepts, innovation and entrepreneurship. And the people from YI here can close their ears because I've said this example 500 times. But guys, my favorite example for innovation is cash on delivery. Most of you were born in late 90s and most likely in early 2000s. So you have always seen e-commerce. Tarang, I, and Shrivats, we didn't have e-commerce when we were in our early college days. So, when e-commerce started in India, everybody did not have a credit card. There was no UPI, etc. And it was a struggle to scale e-commerce businesses. Then somebody came up with the idea of cash on delivery. It seems very obvious and simple now. In 2008, it was an innovation. There was no technology. Why I'm giving you this example is innovation doesn't always mean technology. Innovation doesn't mean something very deep tech. Yes, many times it means technology, but not always. Because of that one small innovation of cash and delivery, companies like Flipkart went and became a 20,000, 30,000 crore company. So Flipkart was a story of entrepreneurship. Cash on delivery was a solution, and in fancy words, an innovation, right? So that is innovation. And what India, sort of needs today is innovation. And I'm going to take a risk and say it needs innovation more than entrepreneurship. In the last 25, 30 years, I think Indians have become really good at entrepreneurship. But if we really want to increase our per capita, GDP per capita, overall GDP, and we want to become a developed country in the next 25 years, we have to also become innovative. We have to start creating new products, new services, new softwares, and we have to start solving our Indian problems ourselves instead of just thinking about importing solutions from other parts of the world. So, and the beauty of innovation is it allows you to look at every problem as an opportunity, right? Every time you see a problem, it is essentially an opportunity. So that is innovation. And just think about. I know you guys have become used to it, but UPI is an innovation, right? With UPI today, you don't need 12 rupees to pay for a cup of chai, for a cup of tea, right? Before that, you had to have perfect change in your pocket. No longer a problem. A fruit seller, a small fruit seller can accept payments from you in their bank, all because of innovation. And so, you are working on something very important that this country needs. So please take part in all activities of this competition with your full heart. Lastly, I just want to close by saying that as you go along, you will feel tempted to build a business model around your thoughts, around your project, around your innovation. That's important, but much, much more important for this competition, what we will be looking at is the innovation, is the solution, is your creativity of how you tackle the problem statements. Once the innovation is done, business models can always get there, right? So focus on innovation as you go along, and happy innovating. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Srivats, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Varun, for the wonderful message. Like Tarang said, we would be happy to see faces, whether you are in your college playground or you're looking in a canteen or you're sitting in your house. We don't matter. We don't have any challenge. It'll be good to see faces so that we know we are interacting and get a good feedback. Thank you. We will now be taking you through what IDS is all about, what is the problem statement that we have been talking, what is the challenge that we have been talking about, what do you need to do for this contest. Ultimately, we are trying to create an ecosystem for innovation here. There needs to be innovation at every part of the country in small, small pockets. I always talk in about cricket. How is it possible that every person in this country, every boy in this country, or even now girls in this country, every person is wanting to become a cricketer because there is someone playing cricket in your gully, in the bylanes of every nook and corner of India. Innovation is something that needs to happen in similar fashion. You need to look for if you look at a problem, we need to stop an approach where you look away and see, okay, someone else is going to solve it for you. Can we have an attitude and aptitude to come up with solutions for every problem that you see or a challenge that you see, and which will help the society at large? So what we will do is I will just repeat maybe many of these things which all of you will know, but we will repeat for the benefit of those guys who have joined in or who are not aware of this. Ideas is a contest where we are coming up with certain challenges that the society faces today, where there is a scope and an opportunity for a solution, and the impact will be very at a large scale. So there are three phases to this contest. The first phase will be the imagine phase. The second will be the do phase, and third will be the share phase. Now, every year we have had a particular theme or a particular based on which the contest is based. So last year, the last year we had the theme as the health. So we were looking at how we can bring about innovation in the healthcare space. The year before that, we were looking at smart city. This year, we have taken a very critical and crucial topic, which is how can you bring about innovation in climate change? Now, to give you some sort of a background, climate change, we all feel that it is something that is to be left to be done by the large companies or the large corporates who are running organizations or the government who have to make policy. Well, yes, but there is some sort of involvement by every citizen of this country and also every human who's occupying space in this earth to ensure that the world becomes a place to sustain for future generations. And hence we have picked up this topic. So what are we looking for? We are looking for solution under four broad categories. One, it's got to do with relevance. Second, it's got to do with its impact. Third, whether it's actionable. And fourth, and very important, is whether it is creative. First is when it talks in terms of relevance, let's look at whether a solution will solve a problem statement. We will give you a problem statement. Whether the solution that you're going to come up with will actually solve the problem. Second is the solution or the idea or the tool that you're coming up with. Is it backed by science or a prior evidence? There needs to be some sort of research that you need to do to ensure that there is science behind it. Third, can the solution or the tool be easily implemented without affecting people's daily life? And this is very important. If you're coming up with a solution which requires a lot of effort, even if it requires 2 minutes of an effort for a person, we all stay in societies. Very simple solution that people have come up with, segregate dry waste and wet waste. Very simple solution. But the other day, 2 days back in Noida, there was a huge fire that happened in the dump yard, and the entire area sector was engulfed in fire, and people were inhaling, the sectors around, the people living around that dump area were inhaling literally fire and toxic gases. So this could have been easily implemented if people can do dry waste and wet waste. So hence, if you have to look at a normal layman and come up with a solution which is easily implementable in without affecting anyone's daily life. Second is its impact, whether it will influence a social behavior. I'll talk about a project that YI did called No Horn Not Okay Please, HNOP. Very simple. We reached out to students who were college students who were in the age group of between 7 to 15. And we said, noise pollution. When you sit in a car and you are waiting at the signal, or, when you're driving, quite often than not, you will find that people honk not for caution. What is the horn required for? It's for caution, but people use it. It reflects their attitude. It reflects their impatience. It reflects the kind of kind of their mood which they are in. So we told the students, just go on to a particular junction and stand with a placard, and we gave a sticker to each student. Take that sticker and paste it just with a request and with a permission from the driver saying, can I paste this sticker behind your vehicle? And it just said, horn not okay, please. The moment we did it, in one day, when we had this HNOP day in Cochin, there were many signals where it was pin drop silence. I remember one of the parents of a student coming and telling me the silence was actually more irritating, because usually you find a junction which is bustling with noise. So, how can you influence a behavior in a society? So solution has it has to have the potential to influence behavioral change. Second, very important, is the solution scalable? It has to be a scalable solution. You cannot, it's like, okay, if you want to go reduce the weight, you have to have a gym which is equipped with a high-tech technology, all the equipments, which is having everything that's possible. Then it's not something which is scalable. Can you come up with a solution wherein you need no equipments, but still be able to do the exercises or the workouts that those guys say? So very similar. I just give you an example. So is the solution scalable? Can the solution inspire people to take action? Very important. So the moment I think of my child, my 5-year-old who's living in Delhi, and I look at it in a 15 years time span, look at the amount of toxic gases that he's going to inhale, the amount of garbage that's going to get into his body, and how it will impact. The moment that thought comes into my mind, or for example, even yourself, when you're looking at your brothers and your cousins, whoever, if at this pace we are going to continue, will we be in a sustainable world? So comes my next point: is the solution sustainable? Very sustainable solutions which will not take back anything from the earth. Indian ethos and Indian scriptures and Indian, all of those at Indian solutions has given, where it has to, whatever you take from earth, ultimately it will devolve and move around and come back. Can you come up with solutions which is somewhat similar? Everything starts from Mother Earth. Can you make a solution which ultimately comes back and which does not hinder? So, relevance and impact. Third, actionable. Is a solution really feasible to implement? Feasibility in terms of, when you come up with solutions, it needs to have, it has to have a benefit for everyone. How can you come up with a solution where every person, every stakeholder has benefit from it, and it is not a case where someone benefits and someone is at the receiving end, or is at a disadvantage. So is the solution feasible to implement? Is it measurable to measure the outcome in any way possible? Because only then, if you're so imagine now, whatever you are saying, whatever you're going to come up with a solution, we being YICII, being the industry body, you don't limit yourself to saying that, okay, this is just a competition, I'm just going to give here and it ends here. No. If the idea is good, if your intent is good, if your intent, if your effort is, your commitment is there is a possibility that we will take it to the right place. And even with the government departments, with the government authorities, we can set up send a white paper through our various forums. So at that time, when a person who's at a decision-making level looks at your solution, he has to look at it, he has to measure it. He always will measure it. And hence, this is very important. Is the outcome measurable in any way possible? And did you consider the resources, that is economical, environmental, social, that will be needed to sustain it over time? Don't limit your answers for the next 5 years. Imagine has to sustain for the next 50 years or 25 years for that matter. How can you do that? So third is actionable. Fourth, whether it is creative. This is very, this is an age where everything is available for you in a platter. The moment you type few words, it will give you answers. ChatGPT is something where, you just need to put words and it will give you the entire answer. Or these days, sometimes I have encountered with people, they just put, I come, go, Mumbai, come back day after. The ChatGPT will come back to you with a very nicely built answer, with a beautiful sentence. I'm coming to Mumbai and going to come back to Delhi day after. So in such a scenario, how can you not look at an existing solution and be creative in your solution? So how is the creative compared to the existing relevant ideas? Does it have a design potential? So this is very important, not just a solution. So when you look at in your solution, please always keep in mind the face, do and face share, which I'll come to in the next slides. So keep always in mind that there is a design potential for each of your solutions. And this is something similar, I said, is a solution easily accessible to the target audience? So decide your target audience, is it easily accessible? And would it work in a different context? So it will depend on, are you limiting it to just India? You can look at the entire world universe. You can understand that we just hosted the G20. You can understand where India stands in the global parlance, and whatever solution that you come up with, it is all getting noticed. So always come up with a solution which will, you look at it, whether it is specific to a region, area, or a nationality, can it be worked in a different context altogether. So please look at that. So these are the sort of checkpoints that you need to keep in mind when you look at your ideas. These are all very, very relevant. And why I'm emphasizing all of these aspects is, it is very important that when you put in a lot of effort to come up with solutions, a lot of resources, time, money, your contacts, network, it has to come out with a result. So please keep this in mind when you submit your solutions, and we will be happy to review them. Next is the framework, which I had mentioned. This is the 3 phases. Phase Imagine, where we will be focusing on the innovative ideas. We will look at your ideas to be against the challenge. Please keep those aspects which I mentioned earlier in the earlier slide in mind. So give your solutions for the challenges that we are giving. What is the challenges? What is the problem statement? We will be covering in the next, after my presentation. Phase 2 is, we will be validating your selected ideas. So once phase Imagine you're submitting, we will be having a filtration. And out of those, the filtered participants will be moving on to the phase 2 stage. In the do stage, you will have to submit prototypes. Now, we have been getting queries whether it can be a service or it has to be a product. It can be anything. It can be anything that gives a solution to the problem statement that or the challenges that we have given. So please feel free to share those. So have share a prototype of how you want to solve how to show how you're going to solve those give those solutions. And last, once we have the prototype submitted, we will have a further filtration, and the final selected candidates will make a final pitch presentation of the validated ideas. With respect to this phase, this will be a physical presentation of your idea, where we will have a panel, and that panel will consist of multiple people from various fields, which is connected to the idea that we have chosen. And out of that, we will be selecting the winners, the first three winners. So these are the key important dates which you need to know. We had released these dates earlier, but on account of the phenomenal response we had received for IDS in the last few days, we had to sort of realign these dates so that we could include as many people as possible. So we launched the event, announced the event on 4th of March 2024. We closed it on 19th of March. However, we had extended one day for the students because of the exams, and for other reasons some students could not do. So we had one day open for the registrations after 19th. Thereafter, we had started the WhatsApp group, where we have now created 5 WhatsApp groups. As I understand, there are many students who have been waiting, who have been reaching out to our team saying that they have not been able to access the WhatsApp groups. Our apologies for the same. We have been facing certain technical issues. We are now rolling out 5 WhatsApp groups, 5 WhatsApp communities, the links of which we will be sharing immediately after this session. Please share it far and wide. Ensure that all the teammates, all students, all participants who have registered for the event come and attend and be part of the WhatsApp group, so that you don't miss out on anything. Today is the learning session. The 30th of March will be the mentor session. The students, ensure that you have a mentor who will be able to guide you. It's not a mandatory requirement, but it will be good to have a mentor with you who will be able to guide you and who will be able to give you a lot of ideas on how to submit and generally about innovation. Coming back, it's our objective is not just to ensure that there is, this contest is there. We want to create an ecosystem for innovation. Ensure that, in this time, that in the opportunity that you're getting, create that ecosystem. Let there be a lot of brainstorming and workshops, and we'll be happy to see that coming. 7th of April is the Imagine Phase submission deadline, and 15th April will be the results of this Imagine Phase. We will be sharing the submission guidelines and the Imagine guidelines just immediately after this presentation. Next comes the phase do stage. As soon as the phase Imagine completes, we have the phase do stage, where you will have an orientation and learning session for the phase do. Along with that, we will be sharing the phase do guidelines, and you will get a 15 days time to build your prototype and story and all that is needed to support your solution that you've submitted. And finally, we will have the winners on 5th of May. Lastly will be the share phase. It will start again immediately after the phase share orientation, phase phase, wherein we first will start with an orientation. There will be the pitch presentation workshop on 7th of May. Final submission will be on 11th, and 12th will be the final winner. As you're all aware, we have announced the winner amount. It is 1.5 lakhs for the first winner, second winner 1 lakh, and third winner will be 75,000. So this is what we are going to look forward for in the next 2 months, 50 days altogether. All of you will be having a lot of questions, a lot of clarifications required. We have created a Google form wherein you can fill in your questions. unfortunately, looking at the entire set of number of students who have joined, it'll be very difficult for us to reply to you one and on. So we have created a question Google form where you can ask your questions and then come up with, we'll give the resolutions. So to take you through the problem statement, to make you understand what the problem statement for this year's theme is, I will request Climate Change Glow Vertical co-chair, Mr. Siddharth, to come and join us. Siddharth? Just a minute, friends.
Hi, good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Siddharth.
Great. Thank you so much, Srivat, and great to see the sheer number of you on call. I can see around 300 participants, 2,800 submissions. It's just like completely shocked us and flabbergasted us, and we cannot wait to see what you guys are going to submit. So my name is Siddharth. Along with my colleague Sangeeta, we handle climate change vertical for young Indians. I don't need to tell you climate change. We're all facing it. I'm from Bangalore. We're completely out of water, right? This is the first primary effect of climate change. And wherever you are in India, some way or another, you're going to face it. It's going to be unseasonal rainfall. It's going to be the lack of rainfall. It's going to be temperatures we've never seen before. All these things are happening every day. We are seeing it, we're reading it in the paper. Nobody is safe, right? Whether you're in Kashmir, Kanyakumari, Gujarat, Northeast, something or the other is happening. So we as young Indians, we feel it's our responsibility to contribute towards this thing, not by sitting on the sidelines. It's not an IPL match you're watching. We need to do something, right? So that's why we decided this year we have to do something. And in fact, within VIA itself, we're trying to call ourselves climate action team. We don't want to just say climate change. We have to do something, right? So that's why the whole concept and the whole mission this year is to actually go and implement your ideas. You may have the greatest idea in the world. If it's sitting in your brain on a PPT or a notebook, completely no use to anybody, right? We have to go out, we have to implement it. And we as YI, we are standing with you to help you do that each step of the way. There are 70 chapters in India. Wherever you are in India, there's a chapter near you. There are completely amazing entrepreneurs, professionals who have been through this journey, who are waiting to help you, to guide you, and to take you to that next step, right? So this is what we promise to provide you as support. In terms of the problem statement, can we just run the PPT so I can just take uh, maybe a summary of the problem statement? Perfect. So let's just go through the problem statement. What our main thinking was, we don't want ideas of stuff which is already being worked on. Climate change, we know, transport is a big thing. Government has already said all the cars that we produce will be electric vehicles. We don't want you to come and give us an idea that let's make all the vehicles electric. We know that. We're looking for problems and solutions to problems which the government is still searching for, entrepreneurs are still searching for. We wanted to use your gray matter a little bit. And so that's why we have chosen these three topics, which we feel are not that focused on either by private sector or public sector, right? So let's go through them one by one. The first broad theme is climate control in urban areas, right? Again, we are in the summer season now. Can you go to the next slide, please? We'll skip this. We'll go to the next slide. Why urban India, right? So what happens when a country develops? China has done it. Most people from rural areas, from farms, they move into urban areas, right? Because that's where the jobs are, that's where the money is. But what happens in a city? There's only X amount of space, right? So again, I'll take the example of Bangalore where I live. It used to be 1 million people 30 years ago. Now we're at 12 million. How do these people get food? How do these people get water? Where do these people live? Uh, Traffic issues, pollution issues, all these happen. It's happened in every country in the world. How do we solve it in a much more sustainable? So we need to look at climate control in urban areas specifically. That's the first theme of our challenge. If you go to the next slide. So challenge one is, we know temperatures in India, if you go to Gujarat or Rajasthan, peak summers can go up as 50 degrees Celsius, right? So imagine you're stuck without a fan or a AC, God forbid, in a 50 degrees. You're a person from a lower income, you're living in a slum, you have a tin roof on your head, and it's 50 degrees outside. You'll just burn, and people get heat stroke. Last year, there were 1.2 million people who died of heat stroke. all over the world. This is happening more and more, right? So what we're trying to see is there solutions for low cost cooling solutions in India with our Indian sensibilities, knowing how heat is in India. Because if we don't find a solution, 93% of India does not have access to ACs as of today, right? What if these people in the next 20 years become slightly rich and all of us start installing ACs? What is going to happen to the power demand? What is going to happen to our national grid? We'll be burning more coal to cool our homes, right? And that's defeating the whole purpose. So this is a very important issue we've identified, and we'd love to find solutions to this. Second challenge, as Srivas mentioned, if you're in Delhi, air pollution is a big problem which everybody talks about, but it's not just Delhi. 2 days ago, I was reading the most polluted city in the world is this little town called Begusarai in Bihar. We've not even heard of it, but that's the most polluted town in the world because of the coal mines and other stuff which is going, which are running, near that. So how can we sustainably reduce particulate pollution in our cities, right? That's the second challenge. Next slide, please. Third is obviously soot, very similar to air pollution. When we run our gen sets or, in the summer, a lot of these dry leaves fall, people burn it. All of that, where does that go? It either settles into your lungs or it's taken away by wind and put somewhere else where it affects wildlife. It may affect weather patterns in places which are hundreds of kilometers, right? So how do we again reduce and manage this problem, which is a mix of waste management and air pollution, right? So these are three challenges we have under the urban area setting. We can go to the second thematic area. Water management. I already told you the biggest cities in India are struggling for water. Will happen again over the summer to many other cities. We don't want obvious solutions here because stuff like uh, you know groundwater rejuvenation governments can do. They'll build big dams or they'll build big lakes. That is not in our scope of control right now. But what can we do that is small but yet impactful, right? To rejuvenate our water. Maybe it's like rejuvenating our bore wells. Maybe it's making a percolation pond, something like that. But why don't we come up and innovate on solutions to raise our water table so that we don't have to face drought-like situations every year, right? Second challenge is sewage treatment. Imagine there are 150 crore of us. Each day we're using the toilet, 20 liters, 30 liters we're using. Where does our water go? We're just flushing it into lakes, making them dirty. Our rivers are like drainage pipes. What if we can reuse and recycle that water and get it to at least as clean as at least to wash our cars or water our plants? We can get it to that purity. We don't need to keep pulling out more and more water. We can just go in a circular loop. This is very well done in Europe, places like Amsterdam. They don't let even one drop go to waste. Singapore is another example. But we still have not come up yet, mostly because of cost. So can we innovate on cost to bring it down so that these sustainable models come up in a quick time? Third challenge, urban flooding. Today we're saying there's no water. In July, half our cities will be flooded because suddenly all the rain will come. In 2 days, it will rain continuously and we'll all be floating around. People will be on social media saying, let's find boats to go to work. And stuff like that keeps happening every year. Why do we go from this end to end, right? Can we find sustainable solutions to store water when it's raining and use it when it's not raining? Seems very common sense, but nobody's able to figure that out, right? So this is the third challenge in terms of the water management. Next slide, please. The last broad thematic area, we've left it a little bit broad, but you must have heard of this concept called circular economy. It basically means you make something once, keep recycling it, reusing the material, and keep finding other uses for the material, right? Today, you get a plastic bag, you use it for 5 minutes, get home, throw it. Where does that land up? Again, in the ocean, rivers, clogs up your drain. So why can't we find material or business models where we can just make it once, keep reusing it till we absolutely cannot use it anymore? That thought is now becoming very popular, but again, solutions are very less. One particular area which is my personal interest and we should focus on is the whole area of construction waste, right? Today, our construction industry is booming. People, they use the cement, they break down buildings, and they again just throw it there. That cement can be easily broken down, used to make another building. But nobody's thinking in that, right? Because construction is a low-cost industry. labor has to be low cost, and people are not innovating enough in that area, right? So this is again a very, very important thing. Otherwise, whole cities will be looking like garbage dumps in 10 years if they already are now, right? So this is the third and last area we would like you to focus on. Excuse me. So broadly, I just taken you through the problem statement. Sorry if I've been too quick about it, but we've put considerable thought into it so that it's not areas which you already thought of or their existing solutions there. We want you to really put your minds together and get us something which we can take even tomorrow to your state government or central government and say these kids in XYZ college have come up with this. We'd like you to pilot it. We'd like you to implement it. That's the dream. And I'm absolutely confident one of you will make it to that stage. So with that, I'll end my remarks. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and I really, really look forward to receiving your suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. I will just sum up by saying that this is something that each one of us have to work for. The earth that we live in is not something that we need to look for someone else to find solutions. It is for us to find solutions, and this is an opportunity. Please consider us as a catalyst. When we say a catalyst, how can we convert your idea and scale it up and help you achieve those dreams that you have? We have few questions from, I think, Madhumati, Vansh, and Madhumita. Tusha, can you just unmute them? We have a minute. Neil has just come in. We have a minute or two. We can take these questions. Madhumati, you would want to, if you want to talk, can you please turn on your video? I think Vansh also wanted to. If you want to ask any questions, you can please turn on your video and then make a thumbs up so that we can unmute you. All right. Vansh, you want to ask something?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Very good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening,
So
Vansh.
actually, my doubt is that what if our idea comes under two problem statements?
That's okay. That's fine. We will still consider it. That is fine.
So we need to mention it in our presentation.
I'm sorry, I could not hear you. Your voice was breaking. You can mention it. I understood your point. If you're
I'll
covering
just close my video
two
if you want.
solutions, you're covering two challenges with one solution. So you can just mention that, these are the two challenges that you've picked, and this is your solution. That you can mention in your submissions. All right.
Okay. Just a
All right. Piyush, you want to ask something? We can take two more questions. So Piyush, you want to ask something?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Piyush.
Sir, I want to ask if I want to remove one of the member from my group as he is not able to participate in the hackathon, then can I remove the member?
Can you please put this in our question in the Google form? We will consider everyone's request and then come out with an answer.
Sir, already I have done that.
Thank you. We will come up with an FAQ. For all the questions in the Google form that you'll be filling, we'll be coming up with an FAQ and then coming out with an answer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, last question. Yeah, we will be sharing the Google form. Don't worry at all. We will continue to share all the PPTs, Google form, all the dates continuously in the WhatsApp community. There has been a technical challenge that we faced an hour back. We will be resolving that as well. So don't worry at all. Weber. So last question, we'll go with Weber.
Good evening, sir. So I want to ask that, what about instructions and guidelines, so that what we have to maintain in our PPTs and how we have to submit our prototypes and all.
Sure.
Those
So
minute details.
the guidelines for the current phase, which is the imagine phase, we will be sharing out, rolling it out after the end of this session. So don't worry that we will be sharing it across in the WhatsApp groups, in the email, and even if you don't get it, we will be resending an email maybe a day or two. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, we can't take any more questions. We have to start with the design thinking session, which is idea to innovate. Firstly, thank you all for attending this session and understanding and giving us the confidence to host this for you. For the Ideas to Innovate session, we have Mr. Neil Kikani, who is the chapter co-chair of the Coimbatore chapter of Young Indians, and he's also a director of Ragok Medicare Private Limited. He has done his education from University of Birmingham as well as in Singapore Institute of Management, and he's also an innovation enthusiast, and by not by profession but by through sheer passion. So thank you, Neil, for doing this for us. He's just finished a meeting with the industry minister of the Tamil Nadu government, and he's taken time out. Thank you so much, Neil. Over to you, please.
Yeah, hi, Srivats, and hello, everybody, friends from IIS. Hello,
Neil, your voice a little feeble.
am I clear now?
I think because of the microphone, you can just hold it closer if you will. Can't hear you.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible now.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Hello, yeah, Neil.
Can you hear me now? Srivats, can you?
Yeah, now I can. Now we can hear you.
Okay, okay. Am I clear or a
There's a lot of disturbance, Neil.
lot of disturbance, is it?
I think it is related to the headphone. Probably the wire is loose or something.
Okay. Can you hear me? Better?
Can you check
Hello?
now? Yeah, go ahead.
It's better now?
No,
Great.
I can't. It's not clear. Shivas, is it clear to you?
It's so what you can do, Neil. My suggestion is you put that earphone, but then keep the microphone next to your thing so that it is audible. You can keep the headphone, but keep the microphone next to your mouth so that it is very audible. Thank you, guys. We like the banter and the fun happening in the chat. Also for the suggestions.
Now, is it clear?
All right. Okay, let's just go ahead with the with just remove the microphone and we will have just go with the computer mic. Just use the computer mic. Microphone, there is a lot of
No,
disturbance.
because yeah, your voice is a bit. Uh, your voice is a bit. Um. Okay.
No issues. I think you can remove the microphone and use the computer. Just have to be louder. That's it. Just be louder. Yeah, just be louder. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. 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 slides to present.
Neil, maybe you can just connect from your phone instead of the laptop. It might be a laptop issue.
All right, we'll just go through the questions in the meantime. There must be a prototype or a detailed idea for solutions will be satisfied. No, I think we will need a prototype to sort of convince how this will be, solved. Varun, you can just come in if you can.
So guys, on prototype, the expectation is for you to do some sort of a prototype, right? But then there are some ideas where it's just not possible to do a prototype. So we are willing to look at maybe a detailed step-by-step procedure or a solution or a very detailed researched PPT, in case you cannot do a prototype. For example, if somebody, and might not be relevant to climate change, but if you're trying to build a new rocket, we will understand that you cannot do a prototype, right? So it has to be a reasonable request. Rest, if you have a specific thought, then please submit it on the Google form. We've put it on the chat.
All right. Yeah, that's the thing. What is the next question? What if our idea involved government to work? Like instead of promoting events only, if they will promote public transport and discourage personal transport, that will be more effective for environment. No challenge, Ashish. You don't limit your ideas to this. I think Varun has answered that. You need to find an innovative way to involve the government. Like I mentioned in my initial slide, that it must be justifying for them to take a decision and action. Right. Okay, disconnect. Voice is breaking. All right. Challenges ideas should be submitted in PPT format only. So the ideas we will be coming up with like a Q&A. We will have questions and answers, certain questions that will come in the imagine phase. Those will be available to you, and you need to sort of answer, to that. And apart from that, if you wish to, submit a PPT or anything for that matter, even a video of if you want to explain through a video, that is possible. But there are certain mandatory fields in the imagine phase which you need to fill so that we are understanding it. Next is yes, prototype comes in the second phase. It doesn't come in this phase. Okay, let me be very clear. In the first phase, you're just giving a solution, but you have to keep in mind that you need to give a prototype. Now, I will just touch upon one aspect. When you say prototype, etc., don't make it very complicated in your head. It is a very simple thing. Think what you can do in your college, in your house, in your community, in your college, all of that, and then you don't need to go to a lab per se for. Of course, for certain solutions, you need to go to a lab. You need to have, and secondly, it's very important that you have someone to mentor you. We mentioned in our document that you can have anyone as your mentor, be it your teacher, friend, cousin, family relative, anyone who will be able to help you and to mentor you. Right. Climate change is only on Earth and not in space, and will we choose space? No, right now, Path, we are looking at only climate change, with respect to Earth. That we are not trying to, go beyond that. Video is also okay. That's good. How do we suppose show video with PPT? Just paste the link or just make whole idea in the video format. We will be giving you a place where you can upload the video. But like I said, there are certain mandatory questions that you need to answer. solutions. So please keep that in mind. That is a mandatory requirement. Video is something which you feel that you need to sort of take effort to explain your idea, which you were not able to do it in paper through your notes. That is where your video will be helpful. Good evening, sir. Does our idea should reflect the work of coding? Varad Lad. Who's Varad Lad? Can I see your face? I didn't understand your question. Is Varad Lad here? Varad, yeah. Yeah, Tusha, can you just unmute him?
Sorry, who?
Varad.
Okay.
हेलो सर, कैन आई ऑडिबल? आई एम ऑडिबल।
Yeah, audible now.
गुड इवनिंग सर। सर मैं जस्ट इतना पूछ रहा था, जो हम प्रोटोटाइप कोई जो आइडिया हम सजेस्ट करेंगे उसमें हमारा कोडिंग का वर्क रिफ्लेक्ट होना चाहिए। कोडिंग इज नेसेसरी कि नहीं सर? विदाउट कोडिंग भी हम वो चीज प्रोजेक्ट या कुछ बना सकते हैं?
Varun, you want to come in?
सॉरी सर।
No, just a minute. Just a
Varun,
minute.
can you hear the question?
Varun?
Yes sir.
Just a minute, Varun. I am just asking Varun Jain. All right. So what you're saying is you are going to come up with coding, and until and unless you give your coding, it will not be yeah, Varun has come.
Yeah, sorry, what was the question about coding?
Sir, does we have to use coding in our projects?
It
or
depends.
that?
Varad, if your device needs coding, you will use it, right? If you're doing a software, it will need coding. There are many solutions which don't need any coding. So coding is not necessary. But if your idea needs coding, then you have to do coding.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right. ஒன்னும் புரியலையாப்பா அருண் குமார், புரிஞ்சுக்கும். You can start working on this. I'm sure there'll be huge learning. If we need any sort of support or need to ask about some query, is there any way to communicate about directly or helping team which will help resolve it rapidly? So Satvik Raj, like we mentioned, it will be very difficult for us to have a one-on-one engagement. However, every question that is posed by the participants will be addressed. We have the Google form which we will be sharing. It's already shared in the group chat, in the chat box. Having said that, our request is if you can find a mentor if you are a UA college who are associated with a YI chapter, please reach out to the chapter who will help you to get a mentor. And if you can find that person, it will be helpful for you to submit your queries. If our ideas are matching with the other, that is a problem that we are going to face. Let you leave it to us. We will solve that problem if there is an idea that's matching with others. The prototype submission will also be online. It will not be offline. The only phase that may be offline is the final stage, which we are not yet confirmed. We will be announcing it in due course of time. For now it is online. Yeah. All right. Tushar, can you just for a minute play the video so that we will be able to educate the students about what YIS till the time we have Neil coming in. Varun, anything else?
No, all good.
Yeah, right. Thank you. So this was what YI is all about. We just wanted to give a glimpse of what we do in YI. We have, like Turang mentioned, we are getting into the nation building activities under thought leadership, youth leadership. And Yuva is one of our major vertical. Can I have a show of hands of how many of you are Yuva? How many of you are Yuva children? Maybe if you can give a thumbs up. All right. Thanks. So I think I'm getting questions also. What Yuva is? Yuva is one of the vertical of YI, which engages with the college students, wherein we try to impart the 360-degree leadership program, and we also try to see how best we can have them involved in the nation building activities that YI does. So, for example, we work a lot in against child sexual abuse under a vertical called MASU. So it is to educate the children about against child sexual abuse, where we have had a Limca record where 1 lakh students at one point of time were involved in this cause. Similarly, we are working in climate change. We have innovation. We've got Talil, which is working with school students again to create leadership qualities. So Yuva is an extension of the vertical that YI does. All of you who are not part of Yuva, please reach out to us. There is the it is what it does and how you can reach out. You can please refer to our website. Also, in your queries, if your college want to enroll as a Yuva member, please mention that in your Q&A in the Google form. We will be happy to reach out to you. We are also one of the partners of AICTE, and hence they have accepted our Yuva as an accepted norm. If some more questions coming in, we'll try to answer that. There is this session, this ideas to innovate session, because of a technical challenge Neil is facing. We will just start it in 2 minutes. Right. Yeah, so I think Varun has answered that. Phase 1 is to submit a written solution to the problem statement, which Siddharth just presented. Siddharth had presented under 3 categories the challenges. One is against the urban climate change. Second is water, and third is the circular economy. These are the 3 topics. Under each of the 3 topics, you have challenges which you have mentioned. You have to give a written solution against each of those challenges. All right. I think Neil has joined in. Share your ideas means we will come up with a submission link and a submission form where you have to give an answer to the various questions that we are asked. This will be a solution that you're coming up with for the challenges that we have asked. So that is the it is a first stage where you will have the solution. The second stage is where you submit the prototype, and third will be the presentation. I'm actually responding to Divap's question. What does it mean? Do we share our ideas, presentation or paper? So in the first phase, there will be certain questions which will be asked and you have to respond to that. What all of that, what the guidelines are, we will be releasing after the session.
So I think Neil has, joined back, Shivats.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Neil is there.
Okay. I don't know. You see me? Am I? Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay. Sorry.
Do you want us to share the presentation, or do you have a presentation to share?
Yeah, I have a presentation to share. Give me 2 minutes. I'm reaching office, but I can start interacting, so it's okay. Uh, I'm just reaching in 2 minutes, my office in 2 minutes. But I can start interacting. That's okay. So, hi Shivats, hi Varun, everybody at YI, and all the IDS students and participants. This is Neil Tikani. So sorry for making you all wait. We just had a state minister meeting and that got delayed. But nevertheless, yes. So we are going to talk on the journey to from an idea to a real product, right? And Shivats, how much time do I have?
We've got about 35 minutes.
Okay, great. Fine. So am I audible to everybody?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, great. So I'll be putting up a presentation in 5 minutes. But before that, how many of y'all are excited for IDS? How many of y'all are excited to imagine of creating your idea and developing it into a product? Can I have a show of? Can I have some reactions? Right. So I'm literally going to dwell down on how I'm going to imagine. That's the I of the IDS. And how are you going to dwell into ideating through your imagination journey? So how do you think? How do you ideate so that your ideas are really constructive, are really sustainable, are really long term, are really for the good of the society, and that can be developed, and your idea can be developed into a prototype and hence a final product, right? So that's what you at the end of the day, as participants, as enthusiastic innovators, want at the end of the day, right? Your idea being turned into a tangible product, right? Am I right? Yes. So I would really appreciate that, if some cameras are on so that I can get to see the heroes who are going to innovate, come up with ideas, and really put products that are going to change the society at large. So that I'm not talking to a bunch of black screens out here. Yeah, great. Okay. So how many of y'all have heard this concept of design thinking? I'm not going to go deep into design thinking, but I'm going to share some insights on how design thinking helps in your ideation journey, from creating your idea to a realistic product. Yeah, how many of y'all have heard of the term called design thinking? Okay, Anand Kashyap says, please tell me. That's very honest of you, Anand. I'll definitely tell you, but just to keep some interaction and engagement going out here, how many of y'all have heard of the term design thinking? Okay. How many of y'all like design or understand what design is? If I had to tell you one thing, what does design mean to you? Can anybody explain what design is in one word? That's your start of your ideation journey. What is design in one word for you? So if I had to ask you, explain design to me in one word. Creative, thanks Fahim. Vijay, interaction, innovation. Oh wow, that's too many words. Empathize, design, ideate, prototype. Okay, that's design thinking. Okay, easy solution, empathy. Okay, so can I say design means structure? Design equals to structure. If your clothes didn't have structure, you wouldn't like the clothes which you're wearing. You wouldn't like the design. If your laptop in which your Zoom call is on didn't have structure, you wouldn't like the laptop, correct? So can we agree to one thing, that design means structure? Design equals to structure, right? Yeah, Abhinav Jain said structure. Okay, great. So if the starting point of your idea is to have a structure, your idea must have a structure. Yes. Now, coming to design thinking, which is a 5-step, very simple process, I'm going to touch on two major steps. One is empathy, and the other is how to ideate. So design thinking is a 5-step process which starts from empathy, then it goes to defining the problem, then it goes to ideation, which we are going to dwell on for some time. Then it goes to prototype, and then it goes to testing out your idea, whether it's really friendly towards the society, friendly and implementable to the society at large, right? So,
Neil, just a minute, Neil.
yeah.
So everyone, you would have understood from what Neil has been mentioning. This is the reason why we said it is going to be mandatory for everyone to attend this, because this session will help you solve all the questions that you've been asking. That how do you come up with ideas? How do you innovate? How do you convert that? And all of those parameters that we mentioned that is necessary for your solutions. This is a session that will help you do that. So, I request that all of you stay tuned to this, attend this completely, and also request all your team members, because that is very essential in your team members also understand. So please ensure that your team members are also attending this for sure. Right. Thank you.
Great. Yeah. So, Srivat, can you share me the link for presenting the PPT?
Yeah, Tushar.
2 minutes.
So please reach out to your friends and whoever your team members, ask them to attend this, because it is very, very critical for you to understand what we are trying to achieve here. And it will be like a refresher, course to help you come up with solutions. You might be thinking a lot the moment you say, think about innovation, design thinking. It may be a lot in your mind, but what Neil will do is he'll break it down for you in a simpler fashion so that it'll be very easier for you to respond and prepare the solutions. You're on mute, Neil. Okay, Tushar, have you given the access?
Yeah, perfect. Am I much more clearer now?
Very well.
Yeah, perfect. Super. I think yes, it helped. Okay, I'm going to share you a small presentation and have a bit of an interaction so that y'all can ideate in a much better way, right? Just a second. Okay, I've got the rights. I'll just share the PPT. Yeah, share screen. Just a second. Great. Okay. Can you see my PowerPoint? Hello? Hello? Guys, am I audible to you?
Yes, Neil, you are audible and we can see your PPT. Please go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. Now I'm just going to give you a perspective on some of the examples. Okay, some of the examples so that you get a hindsight on what design thinking and how does one think. Okay. So I want quick interaction and quick responses from you. I'm going to show you some personalities. Can anybody tell me who is this? Some quick 1 second quick responses. Okay, great. Prabha says Homi Baba. Great. Okay. Okay. He is Dr. Homi Baba. Now, why Homi Baba is a great design thinker? And I'm going to take all Indian examples out here. Okay. Homi Baba empathized with the Indian population for India. So please know that I'm using the word empathize. Now, just to dwell into some history, India was cornered by China in 1961, and India did not have any answer to fight back China, and that's why Homi Bhabha came in and said, let's to the Prime Minister that let's make India's first atomic bomb. Now, atomic bomb was a great solution, and before the atomic bomb, India made its first nuclear reactor. So you have a structured way of approaching to a solution, right? Now, when I said before, design means structure. So structured thinking for better ideas is design thinking. Okay. So how do you have structured ideas? To start identifying a problem which is large, which is solvable, which is the need of the hour. Please concentrate on the words which I'm saying, which is large, which is the need of the hour, where there's opportunity, and where nobody is interfering or nobody has done something in that field. Okay. So that's where you need to find your problem statements, right? That's where you need to ideate. Now, Homi Bhabha came up with the idea of atomic bomb, right? Now, is atomic bomb relevant today? Yes, it is, right? Today, India is the third most successful nuclear nation in the world. All thanks to Mr. Homi Bhabha, right? Bhabha Atomic Research Center is India's finest nuclear research center present till date. Okay, so Homi Bhabha figured out a problem which is national security. So is national security a bigger problem? Yes, it is, right? If not for Homi Bhabha, India would not have been nuclear independent. Okay, so Homi Bhabha figured out that national security is a bigger problem, and how do you find a solution for national security? Being a scientist, he came up with the solution of atomic bomb, right? So I'm giving you 2, 3 examples so that you get a perspective of how do you think, how do you ideate, right? Okay, second example, quick answers. Who is this gentleman? Thank you so much. Yes, it's Dr. Sarabhai, Vikram Ambalal Sarabhai. Yes. Um, Founding father of ISRO and founding father of Indian Institute of Management. Now, Vikram Sarabhai was the godfather of the space revolution in India, of the rocket science and the space revolution in India. If India did not launch rockets in 1965, India would not have been independent. So China, USA, and Russia were the three nations only way back in 1950s who were launching rockets. And if any nation had to launch rockets, you had to get permission from these three nations that we need to launch rockets. So what Dr. Sarabhai did is made sure that India launched its rocket and made noise that India has the capability of launching rockets, right? Now, why is a rocket launch important? Now, when you launch rockets, you put satellites into space. Now, why are satellites important? Because your mobile phones today work because of satellites, right? So is rocket launching important? Yes, rocket launches helps in national security as well. Because of satellites, you do national security. Now, again, did Sarabhai empathize with the local Indian? Yes, he did. Empathy. When we talk about empathy, I want to give you examples so that you understand what empathy is. A lot of your ideation will be in empathizing who we are solving the problem for, right? So who you empathize with will show how mature your idea is and will show how mature your problem solving is, right? So the godfather of ISRO, is ISRO relevant today? Yes, it is. Now I'm continuously repeating the term relevance. You know, why do I stress on the word relevant? Because your idea needs to be relevant. If your idea is relevant, your problem, your solution will be more relevant, right? Your solution has to be relevant
not for today, not for tomorrow, not for 2 weeks down the line, not till IDS is over. It must be relevant for the next 50 years. It must be relevant over the next 100 years. Now, these people created institutions, created solutions which are relevant even today. Is atom bomb relevant today? Yes, it is. Is ISRO relevant today? Yes, it is. Right? I'm going to show you two more examples. Can anybody guess this gentleman? He's alive. He's 94 today. He still goes to office. Quick answers, please. Okay. This man is Metro Man E. Sridharan. Now, this man emphasized with a common man, common Indian. Why do I say Metro Man? How many of y'all have been in metros? I think most of them, right? If not for this man, India would not have had metros, right? Now, why did he come up with the solution of a metro? In 1978, India's population was around 74 crores. Okay. Now, did all 74 crore Indians own a car? No. What was the mode of transport then? Trains and buses, right? Now, imagine if all 74 crore Indians fitting in trains and buses, you will not have sufficient trains and buses and everybody will be hanging and falling out. Am I right? Now, this man goes up to Indira Gandhi and says, the then Prime Minister, the then Honorable Prime Minister, and says, I want to bring out a solution for this problem. My population is increasing, the Indian population is increasing, and the Indian population has to commute from point A to point B, has to travel from point A to point B in the most fastest and the most cost-effective way. How do I do that? So he started with the first metro in Delhi. Delhi was the first city to have a metro, right? And then subsequently all the other metro cities. The reason why you call it as a metro city is because there's a metro in the city, right? So is a metro cheaper than commercial transport today? Yes, it is. Today, if you go from, say from a Chandni Chowk in Delhi to Noida or Dwarka, it will cost you around 20 to 25 rupees in the metro. The same thing in Chennai, if you go from Guindy to Egmore, which is two different ends, it's going to cost you, say, 15 to 20 rupees. Whereas if you take an Uber or Ola, it's going to cost you 900 to 1,000 rupees. Is it fast? Yes. Is it cheaper? Yes. Can a common local Indian travel and reach from point A to point B? Yes. And is the solution relevant today? Is very relevant today. The solution thought in 1978 is still relevant today, right? So again, I'm using the term relevant. So when you think of an idea, when you think of solving a problem, when you think of coming up with a solution, make sure that one, who are you empathizing with? And second, is my problem going to be relevant for the next 50 to 100 years or even beyond that, right? Okay, one last example. I think everybody will know this gentleman because we consume all of his products on a day-to-day basis. He's no more, but his brand, not his brand, yes, Varghese Kurian. Thank you, Mihir. Varghese Kurian, the father of the White Revolution, and Amul is the brand which we consume on a day-to-day basis. Now, this man, Amul came into existence. Amul was a solution of breaking off the dairy mafia, right? Now, way back in 1985, there was a dairy mafia. So what I mean is the dairy produce, the milk, which is the biggest produce of any farmer, of any person that owns a cow, right? Milk was not being reached from the producer to the consumer. There was so much in between that it became so expensive. The farmer, the person who was producing the milk, the farmer was not getting his pay. The consumer was not getting a milk at the right price, was not getting enough milk. Varghese Kurian came in and said, I'm going to launch a cooperative. Amul is not a company. Amul is not a private limited company. Amul is a cooperative, right? I'm going to work with the farmers. I'm going to make sure there is no middleman. And I'm going to make sure that the amount of milk produced goes to the Indian in the right quantity and at the right price. Varghese Kurian, because of this move, it bought out 22 crore Indians out of poverty. Because the people got their due, people got their money, the farmers got their money, and it got them out of poverty line, right? That's a great move, right? So these four gentlemen empathized with the common Indian. That was their target. I am doing it for India. I'm doing it for the common man. That is who they empathized with. So when you think of a problem, see, does that problem need a solution? Is that problem very big to be solved? Is that problem really the need of the hour to be solved? Is that problem really so important? And how do I empathize? Who do I empathize with that problem? Right? And if your problem is big, even if your problem is small, it doesn't matter. But make sure that the people you are empathizing with the problem are big, because your solution will be much mature. Your solution will be big. Okay, so quickly just moving on. Now I have this thing, if I have the great gentleman, women also have to be given due respect, and women and men are the same. So all the women participants out here, don't think any less of yourself. You are as equal to men, and you can bring out great ideas, you can bring out great problem solving statements, you can bring in great solutions. So I'm going to show you four more ladies, just a quick run by, and you can see how women also think for India, right? Okay, quickly, can I have some names? I mean, can you guess who these people are? Come on ladies, come on girls. Okay, I'm getting no responses. Um, Anybody knows who's this? Vinita Bali, thank you so much. Yes, Vinita Bali, Britannia, a great design thinker, made sure that the wheat, India is the largest exporter of wheat in the world. You can go read back what she did with the wheat cultivation, making sure that the wheat of India goes out to the world. And Britannia was one among the major products as well. But she's known for making wheat export worthy, making sure that Indian wheat goes out to the world, making sure that the wheat farmers come out of poverty. Okay. Number two, quick responses. These are very relevant brands who have come up with solutions and which are even relatable today. Can I have some quick responses? Indu Jain, thank you so much. Chitranshi, yes, Indu Jain, Times of India. Now, Indu Jain, she is no more a patriarch of the Times of India group. At the age of 84, I'm not joking, guys, at the age of 84, she made sure that Times of India comes up with a digital version. The first media house to come up with a digital version of the app, so that every Indian, literally every Indian, Times of India was one among the best sellers, a largely circulated newspaper across India. But how do I make information relevant to the common Indian in real time and at the tip of their fingers? Not everybody has the time to read a newspaper, not everybody has the time to sit back, relax, open the newspaper and read, and not everybody will get everything in the newspaper in real time. How do I make access to news, access to things happening around the world in real time? Is to go digital. At the age of 84, having this thought, my common Indian is going digital. Can I bring in news? Can I bring in information in real time to his hands, to his fingertips? Yes, it can be done, right? Okay, quickly, third, Malika Srinivasan, tractor and farm equipment, one of India's largest manufacturers of tractors. Now, she empathized with the farmers of the country, right? Yes, Malika Srinivasan, thank you, Mihir. She empathized with the farmers of the country. Now, what is the biggest asset of a farm? Is a tractor. When the tractor comes in cheap, when the tractor comes, the cost of owning a tractor is cheap. Don't you think the cultivation will be more? Don't you think the quality of produce will be more? Don't you think the ease of the the ease of owning a machinery on the farmer will be more? Yes. Malika Srinivasan made sure that the tractor is of the highest quality and at the lowest price, empowering the farmer to produce 15 to 20% more yield on a month-on-month basis. And that's income to the farmer. 15 to 20% more yield is so much more yield than a normal farmer can do. So she empowered the farmer. She empathized with the farmer. What can I do for the farmer so that they can cultivate more and so that they can produce more and so that they can earn more, right? Okay, last example on the ladies. She is a living icon, like the others, all others, but she is into the pharmaceutical industry. Kiran Shaw, Kiran Mazumdar Shaw. I'm sure a lot of people would have heard. She's from Biocon. Uh, Biocon is the largest active pharmaceutical ingredient manufacturer in India and Asia. Now, what is active pharmaceutical ingredient? Ingredients that go into making your tablets. India used to import from China. China is the biggest manufacturer of API. It's the ingredients which go into making tablets. Kiran Shaw is the reason why Indian tablets are cheaper, why tablets are made in India, why tablets are cheaper, why medicines are cheaper. Is making medicines cheaper a great idea, a great solution? Yes. Now, how do I make tablets cheaper? By making APIs, by making sure that I make APIs. APIs are active pharmaceutical ingredients. Yes. So when I make APIs cheaper, the cost of making a tablet becomes cheaper. And the cost of my fellow Indians buying the tablet becomes cheaper, right? So this is giving you some examples. I hope you've got some clarity on how did these people empathize, who they empathized with, and how did they come up with structured solutions so that it's sustainable, it is thinking in the long term, it is making sure that it's cost effective, and it's also making sure that it's the need of the hour. Shrivats, am I doing good on time? I just want a quick feedback.
Yes, we have got for 10 minutes more, 10, 12 minutes, 15 minutes more.
Yeah, sure, great. Okay, guys, I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm able to relate to you. I hope you're understanding where I'm coming from. Yes, I'm giving you examples. I just don't want to give you gyan out here. I'm giving you examples so that you can directly relate to and start thinking like they think. And that's what you want, right? Okay, so just jumping in directly to why you need design thinking, uh, right? One is to understand the users. Two is to challenge the basic assumptions that it can't be done. And you as problem solvers know to change the thing that it can be done from it can't be done. You redefine the problem which you're trying to solve. You come up with innovative solutions. You create a prototype and you test it. That's what IDS is for, right? You are going against the normal assumptions that it can't be done to making sure that you change the narrative that it can be done, right? And you redefining the problem and bringing out solutions based on your creativity, based on your research, intelligence, the way you think. Okay. So I'm just going to jump directly to something which is called the ideation phase, which I want to touch base on. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Can you see my slide, please? 3 types of ideas. Yes. 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Just a second. Wait. Sorry, I just had a bit of a glitch. Okay, guys, coming to the most important part of your IDS journey is how to ideate. And I'm going to put it in a very fun way, but going to give you a lot of inputs on what these 3 ideas are. Okay. Now, when you think of ideation, ideation means you coming together in a group, sitting in a circle. I'll tell you why a circle also, because when you sit in a circle, your energy flows from right to left. And when you sit in a circle, I urge you that you sit one boy, one girl, one boy, one girl, that way. I'm not telling you that you necessarily, I don't know whether all teams have boys and girls, but it is great to have boys and girls both. Because I'll tell you the reason later after I explain you these 3 ideas. Okay. Now, when you ideate, when you think, right, you think about how ideas, wow ideas, and now ideas. Okay. I'm just putting it in a fun way so that you can relate. I'm not going into technicalities because it'll bore you. 3 types of ideas you can think. One is how ideas, one is wow ideas, one is now. So when you think of a problem and when you're coming up with solutions, right? You come up with an idea and see which category it fits into. So a how idea is an idea which is original, which is easy to implement, which is long term, which is sustainable, which can or cannot be put into immediate effect due to a certain constraint. I'll explain you with an example after this. A wow idea is an idea which completely is out of the world. That's what you're going to do. Focus more on wow ideas. Wow ideas is something which only you have thought in the entire on the entire planet, which only you, it comes from, say, IDS, say from Team Delhi or Team Gurgaon or Team Chennai. It can be anything, but it is an idea that nobody has ever thought of, right? It is simple, easy, quick to implement, and nobody has thought of. It comes from you. You are the owners of the idea. And now ideas are short-term quick fixes to your given problem. Okay. So how, wow, and now. I want you to concentrate on the wow aspect, because that is going to define on how far are you thinking, how creative you are thinking, how long term are you thinking, and that's going to be a strength, because wow ideas are going to differentiate you from the rest of the people. Wow ideas are going to differentiate you from the ordinary ones who are going to come up with uh, simpler ideas, or just any other idea. A wow idea, it's called wow because when you hear the idea, you have a wow factor. That has a wow factor. Now imagine, say Vikram Sarabhai coming up with ISRO, launching a rocket in 1965. It's like, wow, India can do it. 1997, somebody proposed the idea of drones. It was a wow factor. People did not think that something can fly on top and that can be used for multiple reasons. And today it's a reality, right? So, think of ideas that bring out the wow element for someone who's going to, judge you, who's going to test your idea out, right? So focus more on the wow idea. I'm going to dig deep on the wow idea for 5 minutes later on, but just to give you an example, right? So a quick example is traffic. Is traffic a problem? I'm sure it is. It is in all the cities, right? Now I've taken one aspect of traffic, which is one problem of traffic, which is bad roads, which creates traffic. Now I would like everybody to note one point. When you think of a problem, you will think of a bigger problem. Now, how do you solve the bigger problem, right? You break down the problem. Break down the problem into 5 to 6 micro problems, which create the bigger problem. So, for example, traffic. I'm using an example. It's an example. Traffic. Now, what causes traffic? Bad roads cause traffic. Signals cause traffic. I mean, signals not working cause traffic. Infrastructure problems cause traffic. So I'm breaking down the bigger problem into smaller problems so that, see, our human mind would want to solve the smaller problems than the bigger problem. Right? And it's easier to solve the smaller problems than face the bigger problem head on. Correct? That's human psychology. Arey yaar, this is easy. Let's solve this thing first. That's your mindset. That's anybody's mindset, right? So it's easier to break down a big problem into 5 to 6 smaller problems, right? So once you start solving the smaller problems, you will not know that you ended up finding solutions for the bigger problem, right? It's an easy way to do. And the quality of ideas which you get will be more mature, will be more wow, will be more sustainable, will be more long-term ideas. Okay. So I've chosen a factor as bad roads, right? That's one problem which I solve. Will reduce traffic, or will traffic won't be there. Now, what is my how idea for bad roads? Now, again, I come back to how idea. They are long-term, original ideas, which might be relevant, might not be relevant to that particular city, to that particular state because of certain issues. Now, I stay in a city called as Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu, right? Now, my how idea for solving bad roads is replacing normal concrete tar roads with alternative, stronger constructive materials, right? Say laying road with plastic, laying road with cement, right? That's a great idea. But can my corporation, say Coimbatore Corporation, afford it? Can afford it. It cannot afford for the entire city, but can afford for certain places. So finance is a constraint, but it's still an idea, right? Are you understanding where I'm getting into? Wow idea here is deploying artificial intelligence infrastructure to identify where the bad roads are and deploy robots to repair the roads. So I use AI to figure out where my bad roads are. And then I deploy robots to fill in the bad roads. Right? So is that a wow idea? According to me, it is, because no city in India has implemented it. Now idea is filling up broken spaces and potholes with a layer of concrete. That's a quick fix, right? So did you understand how to ideate? I'm going to dwell into ideation for 5 minutes after this. But did you understand on how to ideate? Yeah, can I have some responses in the chat box, because I can't see too many people on the screen here. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for putting in your responses. Okay. One more way to ideate is prototyping. Now, the next step after you ideate is, how will you prototype? What is prototyping? A visual representation of your idea, right? So a prototype is very important to convey what your idea looks like, what your idea feels like, what your idea is actually, right? To the jury, to the audience, to anybody, right? It can be sketches, it can be Lego, it can be, say, if you're developing an app, it can be a wireframe. Wireframe is a sort of a real app, how it looks. And Wizard of Oz is your IoT, your machine learning, your AI, ML. And the other good thing is you can use 3D printing if you have access. 3D printing is a great way to prototype, right? If you have access, you can do it, but make sure that your idea has some sort of physical um, communication, that this is how my idea is going to look like. This is how my idea is going to be. This is how it's going to be converted into a product. This is how my product is going to look like. Anything for that matter, right? So prototyping. And last but not the least is testing. I'm stressing on this because the last step of design thinking or ideation is really testing. Because when you go to this testing phase, you consider so many aspects. You literally consider so many aspects. You consider the feasibility of the idea, you consider the practicality of the idea, you consider how far my idea is going to be implemented, you consider who's going to benefit of the idea, you think about the cost, you think about the relevance, you think about the need, you think about who's it going to benefit, you think about all of this. And if majority of your answers say yes, that this is implementable, then your idea is a success, right? And this all boils down to who you are empathizing with, who you are solving the problem for. For example, I took up the traffic problem for my city. I'm going to empathize with the people traveling on the road, right? Now, is it going to be effective for them? Is it going to be practical for them? Is it going to be relevant? And is it going to make sure that there's going to be less traffic on the road? Is it going to be cost effective? Because the government is going to implement it. I'm going to put my idea in front of the traffic commissioner. He's going to approve my idea and then put it to practical use. Is it going to be cost effective? Is it going to be cheaper? Is it going to be relevant? Is it going to be consumer friendly? Right? Is it going to be ease of use? Is it going to be accessible? So these are certain factors which you have to think. Now, the other point, when you think about ideas, when you think about solutions, think from two extreme ends. Always take extreme groups into consideration. Now, my problem was traffic. The extreme group in traffic is one who commutes every day and one who works from home. Because you get two different perspectives from two different sets of people. Now, coming to that, your market research, right? Now, the biggest positive of good solution is data. Your data is going to back your solutions. Your data is going to show how relevant your solution is. Your data is going to show how good your problem solving technique is. So you need data. How do you get data? Doing market research. Your solutions are going to be strong when you have great market research. How do you do market research? Either you do one-on-one interviews with the people you empathize with. How do you do market research is gaining data from the internet is always there, but primary data collection, hands-on primary data. Secondary data is always there. You have the Google, you have the internet, you have everything. You have Chat GPT also. But primary data will enhance your solutions, will enhance the way you think, will enhance the way you look into a problem, will enhance your perspective. So always focus on primary data collection. What is primary data collection? First-hand data collection. Interviews, samples, sample out a section of people, do surveys. All these are first-hand primary data collection points. Now, just going on to the point where I said, how do you ideate? Why do you need boys and girls in one team? Why do you need to sit in a circle? You need to sit in a circle, one boy, one girl. I'm just giving you for effective idea, solution to get more ideas and more solutions. A girl has a different perspective, a boy has a different perspective because the ways of thinking are different. Right? So if a boy says, I like apples, a girl might say, which color of apple do you like? There's green and there's red. Right? So there's a different perspective. Now, why did I say that when you sit in a circle, your mind flows, your thought process flows from the right to the left? It goes anti-clockwise. Right? So when you pitch in an idea, make sure that you get the buy-in. Buy-in meaning everybody must contribute to that idea. So for example, I can see Janil Gandhi here on my screen. Hi, Janil. I'm sorry, I can see you on the screen. That's why I took your name. But guys, I don't know who Janil is. I just took his name because I can see him on screen. Hi, Janil. So if Janil proposes an idea, right, to his 5 or 6 people who are sitting with him in the circle, make sure that the other 4 people have a say, have contribute to that idea. Right? Because you will be sharing an idea from one perspective, but the other 4 can have 4 different perspectives. Right? So when you have 4 different perspectives and when all 5 of you are on the same page, that becomes one idea. That's how you think. That's what teamwork is. And that's what IDS is for. Right? So guys, I'm going to stop here. Srivats, am I doing good on time? I can. Yeah. So I'm going to take in some questions. I hope I have some question time because I love the Q&A session more because I get to solve what you're thinking. I get to solve your doubts. So I'm going to Srivats, can we have 5-10 minutes of questions?
We will have 5 minutes max,
Sure.
as we need to have a hard stop. So 5 minutes max.
Yeah, guys, any questions? I hope I've touched base upon how do you ideate, how do you think? But please feel free to ask. Abhinav has raised a hand. Yes, Abhinav. Hi.
Yeah. Tushar, yeah, go ahead and speak, Abhinav. Tushar will help you. Tushar, can you just unmute Abhinav?
Hello, sir.
Hi,
Hello, sir.
Abhinav.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're loud and clear.
सर आई वांट लाइक
Yeah.
यू जस्ट जैसे आपने अभी बताया आपका एक वाव वाव आइडिया ट्रैफिक के ऊपर
हाँ.
कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का यूज करके रोबोट से अपन रिपेयर करवा सकते हैं हर एक
हाँ
इंटरवल पे।
हाँ
तो जैसे आपका ये आइडिया है, तो इसको अगर हम लोगों को जैसे प्रोटोटाइप दिखाना है आप, तो वो कैसे दिखा सकते हैं इस वाले आइडिया पे?
Yeah, thanks for this question, Abhinav. अभिनव, हमने क्या किया था? हमने ये क्वेश्चन, हमने ये प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट हमारे ट्रैफिक कमिश्नर को पेश किया था. वी प्रेजेंटेड इट टू आवर ट्रैफिक कमिश्नर. We did a 3D model of the drone one, because that was going to that was a robot for us, right? And we showed him a representation on how AI will work. हमने एक हमने एक डायग्राम बनाया था कि दिस इज हाउ AI इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज गोइंग टू बी, कि
ओके।
आपका मेन सर्वर विल बी कनेक्टेड यूजिंग AI algorithm to the software and everything. तो हमने एक फ्लो चार्ट बनाया था. I'm sure you'll be knowing what a flow chart is, right? तो हमने एक फ्लो चार्ट बनाया था, हमने एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन बनाया था कि जैसे the traffic commissioner can understand, how easy it is. See, at the end of the day, अगर आपका solution easy है, अगर आपका solution is ready to be implemented, आपका solution है ना easily implementable होना चाहिए. Only then उसका traction ज़्यादा होगा और उसकी scale ज़्यादा होगी.
ओके सर।
Yeah, I'm making sense, right?
यस।
हाँ, तो ऑलवेज फोकस ऑन कि आपका सोल्यूशन जो है इज ऑलवेज इजी टू इम्प्लीमेंट. एक, बिकॉज इफ यू वांट स्केल, अगर आपको स्केल चाहिए, अगर आपको आपका सोल्यूशन का ग्रोथ चाहिए, तो यू हैव टू मेक इट इजी टू यूज वन एंड इजी टू इम्प्लीमेंट.
यस सर।
ठीक है. आई होप आई हैव आंसर्ड योर क्वेश्चन अभिनव.
सर, सो हाउ कैन वी इम्प्लीमेंट दैट प्रोटोटाइप? मतलब अगर हम लोग को सामने वाले को समझाना है, तो हम
हाँ
उसको मतलब कैसे, मतलब प्रोटोटाइप से है, मतलब प्रोटोटाइप की हेल्प से उसको समझा सक पाएंगे
हाँ.
आइडिया?
सो प्रोटोटाइप फिजिकल होना जरूरी नहीं है. इफ यू कैन डू इट फिजिकल, नथिंग लाइक इट. पर आप फ्लो चार्ट में भी दिखा सकते हो, आप एक डायग्राम बना के भी दिखा सकते हो, आप यू कैन यूज अ थर्मोकॉल टू इवन शो इट, तो देर आर डिफरेंट वेज कि आप प्रोटोटाइप बना सकते हो. यू कैन इवन शो इट एज अ प्रेजेंटेशन, यू कैन इवन शो इट एज अ मॉडल, कि ऐसे ऐसे. सी, बेसिकली प्रोटोटाइप क्या होता है कि आपका आपका जो सोल्यूशन है कैसे वर्क करने वाला है, कैसे दिखने वाला है, इज व्हाट प्रोटोटाइप विच, राइट?
ओके सर, थैंक
थैंक्स.
Yeah, so I think there's one question I want to ask. How do we present our solutions to you? I think you have answered that. Which thing should we use? How, wow, or now?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Which thing should we use more? How, wow, or now?
Okay. See, I'm for the sake of IDS. Okay. The more wow ideas you have is going to show more genuinity of your ideas. आपके जितने wow होंगे, see, wow ideas are something which is only going to come out of your team. किसी ने इंडिया में सोचा नहीं है, किसी में वर्ल्ड में सोचा नहीं. It's how आपका जो wow ideas है, it will really reflect on how you're thinking. आपने कैसे डेटा कलेक्शन किया है, आपने कैसे रिसर्च किया है प्रॉब्लम के बारे में, हाउ डीप हैव यू गॉन इनटू द प्रॉब्लम, हाउ डीप आर यू इंटरेस्टेड इन सॉल्विंग द प्रॉब्लम. आपके वाव आइडिया से पता चलेगा कि you're रियली वांटिंग टू सॉल्व अ प्रॉब्लम. योर एंथुजियाज्म इन सॉल्विंग द प्रॉब्लम, वो आपके वाव आइडियाज में दिखेगा. सो आई वुड रियली अर्ज ऑल द 138 participants out here who are there on the call to think more about wow ideas, because it will show the genuinity of your thinking capabilities. Ki, yes, I can do it. See, basically the entire point of IDS is going from how to wow. How can I do it to wow, I did it. That is a journey. That is what IDS gives you. कि मैं क्या मैं ये कर सकता हूँ, तो मैंने ये कर दिया. I solved a problem. That is what IDS does to you. Solving the impossible to making it possible, right? So think about a lot of wow ideas, and you have so much access to information. That's the biggest advantage. And मैं बहुत honestly बताना चाहता हूँ, I mean, to be very honest with all of you, See, in 1997 में drones were proposed. The idea of drones were proposed. People laughed at it. कि भाई कुछ हवा में उड़ रहा है and it makes no sense. Today, drones is a big reality and used in so many applications. So, no idea is a laughable idea. No idea is a bad, right? So think about ideas और आपका idea आप ही सोच सकते हो. See, if you come up with a wow idea, there will be people who will say, ये क्या फालतू बनाया है? What nonsense are you doing? Don't get bogged down. Believe in the power of your idea because the story of your idea only you can tell. Okay.
Just, I think we'll have to end here. I'll just address these two questions. How will you present the prototype online? If it is some device? Want to answer, Neil?
Yeah, sure. See, guys, it's easy. See, it's easy to do it online because Shivas, they will be on a video call, right?
Pardon me?
Or
No.
will-
So in the prototype, it will not be only the presentation will be the final stage.
हाँ, ठीक है, ठीक है. So even when you're presenting, right, you can embed a video in the presentation showing your prototype,
Yeah.
right? तो वो कर सकते हो. You know, you can show what your prototype is and how it works as a video file and embed that video in the PPT. You know, so वो कर सकते हैं. It's again, I'm sure that so many people are going to have this idea of an app. तो ऐप का क्या कर सकते हो? Do a flow chart on how the app is going to work, right? Do a representation key. This is how my app is going to look like. This is how my app is going to work. जरूरी नहीं है कि you need to have a working model of the app. If you have a working model, it's great, no doubt about it. But basic कि क्या है कि आपका app work होना चाहिए. मतलब it should show that this is how my app is going to work. ठीक है? I'm just giving you ideas. So you can embed everything in the presentation either through a video or through anything. Yeah, so it's doable.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Neil, for your very patient presentation. I'm sure all of the students would have benefited from it. There will be some learning. I can see from the faces, at least of Abhinav and Janil, that there has been some learning. So to end, I think when we end, oh, thank you, Vaibhav. As we are ending, we would like to see everyone. If you can just show your face and then give a thumbs up as we embark on this wonderful journey for the next 50 days. Good to see teams sitting together. Right. So great, Shabarish, Janvi, Sakshi, Vijaya, Rishi, Ayush. You're having a representation from all across the country. So good to see Tejpal. Thank you for your input, Abhishek Gowda. Right. So, thank you all. Thank you all for a patient. There have been certain technical glitches, but, it is only because of, we're talking about innovation. It is one such innovation that helped us connect us together from various parts of the country and then come together for a common cause. So thank you all. And looking forward for a very exciting time for the next 50 days. Let the ideas and the puzzle happen. Just like chai pe charcha, can we have innovation pe chai pe innovation or innovation pe charcha? Let it happens in the pockets of colleges.
Yeah.
And you were saying something?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing, guys. सबको I want to tell you that, guys, एक तो don't think your ideas are small, your ideas are weak, your ideas, is same to somebody else. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Don't think that you are inferior. Don't think that I'm doing something ridiculous. मैं ये नहीं कर सकता. मैं ये ये बकवास है. Please do not think any of that. अगर एक रॉकेट का आइडिया was laughed on by a world in 1959 is relevant today in terms of ISRO. अगर एक ड्रोन का आइडिया है 1997 में सब लोग हंस रहे थे, but today it's the need of the hour. You know, every idea is important. Every idea is great. Every idea has the possibility to make an impact, guys. And we do not have to look at the likes of Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, and anybody. You know, the next best innovators can be out of these 138 people out here I'm seeing on screen. You know, I don't know how many of y'all have heard of quantum computing. Quantum computing is the next big revolution in computer. मेरे को कोई डाउट नहीं है कि you know this 138 people have the energy to build the next quantum computer for India. I don't have to go see US examples. I have Indian examples who are much better. It's not that I disrespect them. I don't have anything against them, but I see the potential in you 138 people. And IDS is a platform which helps you harness your thinking capabilities. So guys, make the best use of IDS. We are out there to help you, and make your projects a reality. You might never know that tomorrow a Jenil or a Rishita Parihar or an Abhirami or a Vaibhav Bhargav, I'm just taking names randomly, guys. I have no personal connection to anybody here, but can become the next who's who in the field. Tomorrow Abhinav's idea can be discussed in the world. Tomorrow Vijay Bharati's idea can be discussed in the world. Who knows? So use this platform, guys. That is our whole intention as YI, to empower you, to empower your minds, that you can solve the impossible.
Right. So thank you once again. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you so much, guys.
And looking forward to seeing great ideas coming in, and hope to see you all in person. Great. All the very best, guys.
All the very best. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.